Cosmic Desktop is here, kind of. It's actually an alpha release, but it's still sort of here. So you can go download it and play with it. But if you want to see what I think about it, I thought I might do a reaction video for my experience with the Cosmic Desktop. So this is going to be like a first impressions, first look sort of thing. It's not going to be a review because it's an alpha release and you really shouldn't review an alpha. But I thought it'd be fun to check it out and just do like a walkthrough sort of thing. So let's do that. So first, we're going to take a look at the blog post for the announcement on System76.com. So it says, Cosmic, visions enacted, users empowered. That's the slogan for the desktop. It says, Cosmic is a software platform for designing beautiful user experiences. A new desktop environment. We aim to liberate the computer with a new desktop environment powerful enough to build custom OS experiences for users, developers, and makers, any device with a screen. That's a strong stance to be having a goal. So we'll see how that works out. So the Alpha 1, what to expect. As the first alpha version of Cosmic Epoch 1, it is incomplete. You'll certainly find bugs. Testing and bug reports are welcome, of course. I'm kind of doing it now, but I'll send you some stuff that I find. New features request will be considered for Epoch 2, the Cosmic's second release. So you can just download the file. I've already done this, so we're going to be loading up in a second. And you can also try it out on other distributions. They have instructions, so that's cool. So Fedora, NixOS, and Arch already have instructions, as well as Serpent OS. And Redux OS already uses some Cosmic components if you want to check that out. And OpenSUSE is going to have some soon. So in the About section, it says, as a whole, Cosmic is a comprehensive operating system GUI environment that features advanced functionality and a responsive design. Its modular architecture is specifically designed to facilitate the creation of unique branded experiences with ease. Make it your own. We encourage Linux distributions to make Cosmic with their brand colors and preferred configurations for panels, docks, and applets. Separate packages for upstream branding and settings are unnecessary as the default configuration is simply Pop! OS branded colors and settings. So that's pretty cool. You can, if you want to include it in Fedora, for example, you can just change the colors to match Fedora, or OpenSUSE can change it to green to match OpenSUSE stuff. So I think that's a really cool component, and they showed some demos. For those who don't know, I also attended a press conference a week ago where they showed us some cool stuff that's coming in Cosmic, and it was very cool. They showed a variety of different themes, and, well, some of them are great looking and some of them are atrocious, but kind of on purpose. So it's like a joke, kind of funny thing. But still, it's very cool that you don't really have to customize the system. It comes with those abilities anyway. The Cosmic Applets system is crafted to enable experimentation with unique features and user experiences. When integrated with panels, applets become a powerful tool for creating distinct and personalized user experiences. This is a very small. Okay, what if I do this? Because the way they lay out the text, like now this is enormous. What if I just get rid of this? All right, let's do this. Inspect it. Where did it go? Are you kidding? I can't find it because it's hiding. That's interesting. All right, let's see if I can find it in here. We're going to delete that. And now, when we close this, it will be readable. All right, let's scroll back down to where we were. The Cosmic Applets system is crafted to enable experimentation with unique features and user experiences. When integrated with panels, applets become a powerful tool for creating distinct and personalized user experiences. This is kind of cool because this is like a modular style of adding features, very similar to how KDE Plasma has the Plasmoids, which effectively do the same thing where you can, they're called, some of them are, actually, I think they've renamed it, so it's not Plasmoids, it's widgets. So the widgets are like applets. So you can just, customize it and put different features in different places and different panels and all that sort of stuff. So that's very cool that they're doing that. Cosmic Settings employs a modular design, allowing for the addition and removal of pages as needed. Very important. I like that because that means that you can add in features later and not have to do an entire full update to the system. For example, distributions can modify or remove the OS update and recovery page to align with their packaging system and options. Our vision for Pop! OS. Cosmic began as our answer to user feedback we've received on improving Pop! OS. The new desktop environment introduces a custom theming system, streamlined auto tiling, new core applications, including an app store, and provides you more control over your workflow. Written in the Rust programming language, which is very popular these days, Cosmic is more stable, more secure, and better optimized for performance. We shall see. I mean, not really. We're not going to judge that right now because it's an alpha. I'm just kidding. All right, let's talk about the features now. Empowered workflow. We're going to be going through all these things in the actual thing, of course. I just wanted to clarify that. It's not just me reading the news. I'm going to be showing you, Create the environment you work best in. Set your panels to any edge. Use vertical and horizontal workspaces. Operate independently per display or on a single workspace that spans across all displays. See, this is very cool. Because having independent workspaces and independent display settings is super cool. Also, the ability to change horizontal and vertical workspaces is also cool because the vertical workspace is how the old GNOME was, and then how Pop! OS kept it to be. And horizontal workspaces is how the new GNOME works, and also how I'm pretty sure Windows works and how Mac OS works, as well as some others. Anyway. Use both panels or combine into one, a floating dock or extend to edges. Adjust dock size, adjust applet placement. Workspaces can be numbered. Okay, cool. Adaptable windows. With optional auto tiling, newly opened windows arrange themselves in a grid. Stack windows from different apps like tabs in a web browser. Use your mouse or keyboard shortcuts to adjust the size and position with ease. It is very cool to do stacking. That stacking thing is very cool because let's say you have a certain layout of where you want your windows to be, but then you also want another window to be in that particular location with that size. You can't really do it with like normal tiling. So stacking makes that possible by switching through tabs, and that's pretty cool. Use tiled classic floating windows or a mix of both across all workspaces. Yep, I like that. Grab a window anywhere by holding the super key. Also, love this. Resize window by right-clicking with the super key. Now, this is very cool. I'll show you this. It's something that Plasma can do. And the first time I ever saw this was Plasma. So I'm very happy to see this. And I specifically asked this question in the press conference when they had a Q&A at the end. I was very happy to hear about that. Streamlined auto tiling accommodates more layouts. By the way, I'll tell you why that's helpful and when we get there. Sticky windows. Set important windows to always be present even after switching to another workspace. Okay, so it's kind of like having an always on top feature, but this is like always on top and always on workspace. So on all workspaces, like, other desktops can do that too. But it's very important to have these features. It's just because I'm saying another desktop has it doesn't mean that it's not good to have. It just means that it's not a unique feature, but it's a very cool feature to have. Now, the tiling, the way that Cosmic is doing it, for me, it feels like they're taking a combination of all the cool pieces from different desktops and merging them together, and that's very exciting. So this is an example of what it looks like when you have stuff tiled, and we'll get into that. Enhanced theming. Have fun customizing colors to your liking. Text color is automatically adjusted for readability. Save your favorite themes to your desktop and access them easily from settings. The ability to export themes is a very cool idea. Look forward to that. Set custom light dark themes. Nice. Share saved themes with friends and family and coworkers. Okay. Cycle wallpapers in a slideshow. Nice. It's very cool to have that. Plasma also has that, as well as other desktops. I'm just saying, Plasma is what I'm comparing it to because I'm a Plasma person, but also at the same time because the most powerful desktop on Linux is Plasma, and this is going to be kind of competing on the power level because it's for developer types and power users and that sort of stuff. An average user could also use it as well, but it's more of like there's so many power user features. I feel like it's probably aimed at power users, and that's kind of why I feel like Plasma is more of like the best comparison. Applets make important settings readily available and can be arranged in the panel however you like. These applets run as independent processes. An error or vulnerability in one applet will not affect the rest of the system. Now, that's very cool, but also not relevant to applications. I guess you can call them applications if they're independent. So sure. So that's very important. Having them separate from the system is very important because for a long time, GNOME is still kind of very limited in this, but for a very long time, GNOME was single threaded. So if it ever crashed, it would crash your system unless there was a compensation factor. Like, for example, X could be able to compensate for that, but Wayland wouldn't be able to. So GNOME would just, if you were using it on Wayland, which a lot of people were because they literally switched the default to Wayland, it would crash and that would create a problem. So they sort of compensated for that by instead of making it single threaded, it is now two threaded, and two threaded is better than one, but it's still not true multi-threading in my opinion. Use the launcher to open applications, switch windows, search files, calculate, and run commands. Okay, this is like KRunner, which is very cool. Use the app library to open applications and organize them into custom folders for specific workflows. For specific workflows. I can say words. I can. New core applications include files, settings, terminal, text editor, and app store. Please don't call it files. Just call it file manager. Just don't call it files. Because otherwise you got to call it Cosmic Files. And then if you just called files, so it says Cosmic Files. Never mind. In the screenshot, it does say Cosmic Files. That's okay. Because if it just says files, that's annoying because it's the problem that GNOME has of just calling it files. And then good luck searching for any information or help on that. So putting the name of it with that's better. What's done and what's left? The alpha release includes the features most users require for day-to-day use. Applets in the panel provide important functionality, including connecting to wireless networks, audio output and input device selection, and connecting to Bluetooth devices. Cosmic applications for the first release include Cosmic Terminal, Cosmic Files, Cosmic Edit, Cosmic App Store, and Cosmic Settings. So they do have the word Cosmic on everything. Okay. It might be a lot to say, but it's good for referencing when you're using the actual system. Cosmic Settings includes desktop and panel options, wallpaper, appearance, workspaces, input device settings, display configuration, power settings, and more. Oh, and about, not more. Completing settings pages, fixing bugs, and performance improvements account for most of the remaining work before the first beta release. So here are the settings pages they plan to do. Sound, system accounts and users, region and language. I mean, they already have these, they said, right? So they're just improving them, I guess. Okay. Desktop and window management, network and wireless, Bluetooth, power and battery, OS update and recovery, accessibility, design in progress. Okay, the accessibility is very important, so I'm glad that they have it. I talked to them about accessibility in the press conference as well, so I'm really happy that they are putting as much effort into it as they can. Also, default applications page will be in the settings. They need to work on that. Compositor to do, DPMS for turning off the screen. What? Let's just search for this and see what happens. Display power management signaling. Okay, that's all it took to know what that means. Display power management signaling for turning off the screen. Honestly, I don't even know what that means. Power saving behavior of monitors when computer is not in use. Hey, thanks, ArchWiki. So, a frosted effect. Okay, I don't know if you need that, but okay. I guess that's for like the background effect of the windows. Variable refresh rate. That's important. That will be important for people who have like 120 hertz monitors and 60 hertz monitors. Having independent control of that is very important because otherwise your 120 will just work as a 60, and that's not as good. I only have 60 hertz monitors, so I don't really care that much. But it would be annoying. I could assume. Oh, they're going to work on HDR support. Okay, that's pretty cool. I hope that happens. High dynamic range. I hope that happens. They're saying it's going to happen. Work on it after essentially they're saying they're working on it now because this is already out. Nightlight, same thing. Nightlight's actually very important. It's cool that you can already do like the mode of going from light to dark during the time. But the nightlight is important because lowering down the blue light is going to be very good for people who don't like, blue light at night. As you know, basically everyone's body doesn't really like it because that's the reason this thing exists. Which you're welcome for this ton of blue light behind me. I'm enhancing that a lot, right? Don't watch this super late. Or do. Just turn on your red light mode and just make it all red. That's fine. I don't care. Other incomplete and planned features. Accessibility features, calendar integration, workspaces, window movement, and animation improvements. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, which is fine because it makes sense. There's going to be a lot of stuff that need to do because it is an alpha. That's literally, the purpose of an alpha is to say it's ready to be tried, but it is not ready to be reviewed or judged. So again, we're not doing that. We're just having some fun playing with it. So I'm looking forward to a lot of this stuff, but I've also, in that press conference, they showed a lot of cool stuff. So I'm pretty excited anyway, because of the fact that this is set up to kind of be for power users, and that would be a classification I'd fit in. So let's do this now. Oh, that's a giant logo. Oh, it's giant because I had to zoom in. That's right. All right, so we've gone to the blog post, and now it's time to jump into Cosmic and see what it's all about. I haven't installed it yet, so I need to shut everything down, install it, then come back. And I will have to do some stuff to configure it to get the video to work, but we're going to be doing it live directly on Cosmic Desktop. Stay tuned. I mean, it's literally going to be like 2 seconds for you because I'm just going to edit it, but stay tuned. All right, we are back in business. So we are now on the Cosmic Desktop, and the Cosmic Desktop is running on Pop! OS, on bare metal, not in a VM, any of that stuff. So the only thing I've had to do in order to get this back to going is that I needed to be able to record my camera and record the desktop. So I do have stuff like that set up for like OBS and that kind of thing. So I did have to go through a few things, but I ignored as much as possible. And there we go. So let's get started with testing out the desktop. Now, the first thing I should note is that I'm going to be showing you only a single monitor. I have two monitors, but one of them is displaying OBS, and that doesn't work in showing the rest of the system. So that's why you're only seeing one at a time, but it does have ability to do multiples. I may or may not come into issues with that, so we'll see. First of all, the thing we need to do is increase the visuals elements of the GUI because this is way too small. All right, so we right-click on the desktop and nothing happens. Okay, well, that's not great. That's not a great first step. Now we're going to go into the settings, and we're going to go to displays. And as you can see, I have a weird setup. I have this little bitty one too, which is, I can't really show you, but it's... I typically have it up behind there. Doesn't matter. So we have these two monitors. They're next to each other. That's good. For the purpose of my use case, I have it laid out like this. Most people would not be doing this little tiny. So we're going to go to this one. It is needing to be 150. Yeah, okay. That was the other monitor, not this one. Now 150. That is so big. The window is big anyway. Everything else is fine. Like it now looks... Why can't I get to this? Where is the... What? Why can't I leave this monitor? Did I just mess it up? We have found the first problem. I can't get into the OBS. I can activate it, but I can't do anything with it. As you can see, it's down here running. It won't even minimize. All right, so I'm going to try to figure out what the problem is, and I'll record the entire time. But in the edit, we're going to skip ahead, provided that I fixed it.
A few moments later.
And I have sort of been able to fix it. So the thing I was trying to do was be able to get into the other monitor so that I could adjust OBS, because I wasn't able to see it. Like expanded out when it increased the size, it expanded out like super huge and I couldn't see anything. So I wanted to go back in and move it around so I could click the stop recording when I need to. And I couldn't get to that monitor. I still also can't do that. Like, I don't know what it is, what's happening. There's some kind of, like, I've ran into some bug. It's an alpha. It happens. But I have used it. But the only thing I have done differently than I have before when I was testing is that I'm running OBS. Other than that, everything is different. So it's possible that because of the capture activation that it is causing this issue. So that would be interesting if that's the case. Let's do some other testing. By the way I have been able to compensate for this, there is a cool feature I found because of this, okay? You won't really be able to see it, but when you move the window I can't get the mouse over there to interact. I don't know why, but when you move a window inside of Cosmic with the shortcut of Super Shift and then the arrow keys, right? You have the ability to do this kind of thing. You can also move it from one monitor to another monitor by hitting left again once you're already connected to the left. So now it's moved over. And because of this feature, it moved the mouse with the window. So now I'm on that window or that monitor. I'm stuck on that monitor, but I can still get on it. So there was a workaround, and now we're back. So let's look around for things that don't have bugs. First of all, let's start with the, just working around the interface, right? So we're going to go to the top. We got workspaces, and I don't have any windows open, so I should open a window. Workspaces. A little bit of glitchiness here, but that's cool either way. And we're gonna come back to that when we got more applications open. All right, so click Applications, okay, and then we're gonna open Firefox. Sure. Make it your browser, of course. So just so you know, it's not showing the out of the box OEM thing because I did have to load Firefox in order to get some stuff like OBS and that kind of thing. So now let's hit Workspaces, and we have this layout right here. That's nice. I like it. A little bit of glitchiness. But what's cool, I want to know how do you change, maybe it's just in the system settings. It's got to be just the system settings. Maybe there's like another way to do it here. Because I know you can automatically tile your workspace, which is pretty cool. Like that's so nice. And if you don't want it, you can just turn it off. All right, so now that we have it tiled, we can just open a new app. Let's say the system settings. And boom, there we go. Is that why? What if I do that? It's working now. Okay. And I put that back down there. Can I get there? Yeah. Okay, so close this. Turn off the tiling. Am I locked? No. I can get back on it. Huh. So for some reason, the monitors were just super far across from each other, even though when I was testing it, it showed it to be next to each other. So that's why I couldn't go back and forth. That is interesting. Okay, we've fixed it. The problem is no longer a problem. It is still a problem that needs to be addressed, but after this, I'm going to test it again. I'm going to use OBS and reactivate a recording to see if it will cause that to happen. So we'll find out, but not in this video. All right, so we have it looks pretty nice. It looks really nice. I like the layout. We got the calendar, nice. We got the power system. Okay, we can go in here and turn off, shut down everything. Oh, we can get to settings quickly this way. Okay. You have notifications, and you have do not disturb mode, which is really helpful. I talked about that in some other videos. Like do not disturb is very helpful. For those who are curious, like why do you want notifications and then also temporarily turn them off? Well, for me, I'm doing recording. I don't want notifications to pop up. So, that's why. We also got wired, sure, Wi-Fi access. Okay. Let's turn up the volume. So we got the setting for the output. We can switch it here and that. In the input, we can switch it back and forth. That's cool. What's really cool is that this input for my Rodecaster was auto-selected. I did not change that, which makes sense because it's the clearly a audio mixer. So like it made it the default. So that's cool. We turn on show media controls on top panel, and I don't see anything happening here. I guess maybe I have to play some media. So let's go to youtube.com/Destination Linux. Click on the Linux Mint video. There we go. All right, so that's cool. Active hint. Okay, so if I go to here, So one of the things that I don't, on the surface of this, one of the things I don't like about this is I don't like the blue border around the window at all times while it's active. Now, when you full screen it, it does go away, but I'm not a big fan of that. But it looks like you can go into here and then turn off that. Yes, you can. Okay, cool. I'm going to turn it back on for effect so we can like kind of see how things change if we play with stuff. And I assume we can go ahead and let's go in here and just see if we can play with the appearance of this. And yep. Active window hint size. And we can just turn it off too. I think I kind of like the single pixel border more, but I don't necessarily like it that much. So they in the press conference, they told us that they're going to be able to theme GNOME apps with this system. So you take the non-Cosmic apps and you can apply Cosmic theming to them, which is cool. That works for the GNOME and GTK apps, but it doesn't work for KDE Plasma apps so far. Like so, at this moment, they did tell us that. So at some point, that is going to happen. Let's open some windows. Let's open Firefox. Let's open the system settings. Let's open the store. So far, I like most of it. The store is actually pretty nice. It looks really good. But you have it called the Cosmic App Store. And you already have a store called the Pop Shop. And that's just too good of a name to not keep. So I'd like to recommend that you keep it. When you do release this, just turn this into the Pop Shop because such a good name. It's such a good name. So let's activate some tiling, play around. All right. There we go. Look at that tiling. You can move it around. You can go pull it over here. Can you resize the windows? Oh, yes, you can. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, what about this way? Can you do it this corner? It looks like it can't do corner-wise, but it can do this resize and then this resize. So it's not doing one at a time. What about this? Can I do the shortcut? Oh, I can. That's so good. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about. So most of the time when you're dealing with window movement and stuff like that and dragging the window, most people will just grab the top and then move the title bar like that. But in Cosmic and some other DEs, you can hold super, which is super is like the Windows key / mod 4 key / meta key. There's a lot of names for it, but basically it's the Windows key. If you have a Windows type keyboard, of course you could customize it. My keyboard does not have a Windows key, so I was thinking about showing you like here's what but I don't have a Windows key on my keyboard. So when you press and hold the Windows key, you can then left click anywhere on this window. So anywhere, and you can move things around. Doesn't matter. Right? That's so cool, right? But in Cosmic and also Plasma, I think Plasma is the only other one that does it. You can right click as well as super and be able to resize. So, and you don't have to be on the edge. You can be basically anywhere, but I was very excited to see this tiling thing where you can do the same thing and resize it, and you can resize them. Now, if you want to make this bigger, like a lot bigger, there's only so far it lets you go. And I don't think it will let me go that much. Yeah, that's as big as it will let me go. So if you really want to make it bigger, you can just kind of move it to a different spot. Oh, I just stacked it. That's cool too. Yeah, stacking's cool too. What if you do this? Does it kill the app? Yes, it does. Okay. I mean, this is a workflow that I don't typically use. Tiling window managers is not what I typically use. So this is something I'm going to have to get used to. But I think that it's very cool. And I will probably play around with this a lot, especially when it's fully released. I will be 100% playing around with this a lot when it's released because, Now, this is really cool. If you have something tiled, but you don't want it to be tiled, you can just hold super and hit G, and then boom, it pulls out of the tile. You can still keep it on the screen and have everything else tiled, but now you have a floating window on top of your tiled workspace, which is very cool. Now, I guess I could also full screen it. Yes, I can. And then you could hit G again, and then boom, goes back in. Super G. It's Super G, and it goes back in. And I guess, that's interesting. So you can have tiled workspace and have floating style windows that are tiling at the same time. That's kind of trippy, but cool. So let's put that back in. And yeah, we can just move it around with the shortcuts. So the shortcuts are all super shift and then the arrow keys. You can also super arrow key, and this will allow you to control like the focus of the window, which is pretty cool. And you can also jump between monitors with this effect. So you're holding super, left, and then left and right, and you can go to the other side of your monitor. Hold super shift, and then you can move to the other monitor too. So it's very cool. You can do a lot of cool stuff with this. I am liking this a lot. Okay, so we're gonna go to appearance. Now that we have done this, I'm going to turn off this hint. I don't like this hint. All right. So you still kind of have a hint, right? Because it like brings attention to it, but it's not as much, obviously, as the other one. So, wait, what if I'm going to try to turn it. I'm going to turn it back on. Okay, now I've got it back on. And I want to see if I can change the color of the hint. Active hint. Well, that's clearly not right. Let's see if I do this. Interesting. You can do it that way. And if I do, wait a minute, close, and I do this, and it reactivates to that. I think the hint itself is not rounded. I was talking about it earlier being rounded. Yeah, the windows are rounded. Not all of them are rounded. Well, I mean, it's alpha. This is cool. You got light mode. That is bright. That is bright. You see the light shine on my face when that happens? Well, you want a light mode, you got it. All right. So when you want to know how to use this system, you go into keyboard, and then there's a shortcut system somewhere. Oh yeah, view customized shortcuts. There we go. And you can view what the shortcuts are, and then you can go in and change them if you want to. Or you can add an extra one. So that's good. So let's open here. We're going to go to desktop. Let's go to the workspaces. All right, so we have horizontal. Now we're going to go back up. What? Okay. Oh. Oh my goodness. Like you can see like the moment I realized I turned it into horizontal, why would the up and down work anymore? So if you're in a different workspace and you want to go back to the thing after you've switched it to horizontal, there's probably other ways, but you can also activate it to do Super W to activate the workspace overview here. And then you can go here and then go through everything. So that's good. I think this actually should be centered in the middle and only the size of the containing content. I don't think it should be full screen and like that. It's kind of awkward. That's interesting. Okay. So the minimize and maximize button are activated, but in Firefox, they're not there. They're there in everything else, but not in Firefox. I guess there's some kind of bug there. So if I turn it off, turn it back on, there they are. You turn it off and on again. All right, so we have the ability to control the panels. Can you right click on the panels and control it here? No. So technically speaking, the technology behind both dock and the panel are the same thing, but they have them listed independently, and I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. All right, so panel is the top bar, right? So you can automatically hide it, and then you can go into the dock and automatically hide that, and you have a nice, clean interface, like just your windows. but you can always pull them back up if you need to, that kind of thing. So I like that. I'm not sure if that's good for the visuals of this video, though. So let's go ahead and put them back. You can also move it from the left or on the right, or even on the bottom, which we'll find out what happens when there's a dock on the bottom. Nice. It moves the dock up and the panel goes underneath. So you can have a Windows layout if you want to. I mean, you can obviously make some changes here. I would like to have like some kind of interface switcher, like how Ubuntu Mate has, where you can go into and say, I want to use the Mac version or I want to use the Windows version and that sort of thing. And it could just twist it to however you want it. That would be cool. Like if you could have like exporting the panel layout and importing the panel layout, that's even another option too. That'd be cool too. So you can choose to not have it on your secondary display if you want. Extend panel screen edges. Oh, okay. You can do that. Nice. And then appearance, match desktop. You can change the opacity. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. What if you do it all the way down? That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice, actually. You can also resize everything. Nice. All right, let's go to the dock. How much can we mess around with the dock? Automatically hide the dock. We already did that. Or you could do like the old GNOME way, like the GNOME 3 days, where you have it on the left like that. Or I guess you can also use this to make like a Unity launcher, like the Ubuntu style now, like the Unity style previously. So like extend the dock to edges. I would rather there be some more padding around the icon. See how close this icon is to this? Like I would like that to be more padding on the sides. And also more padding around it entirely. But this looks nice. I like it. Let's go back to vertical. And all right. I wish these windows were not like on this row and they were kind of spread around this empty space here. It would look a lot nicer this way, but it's fine. It works, you know. All right, so we're in the thing that I want to be called the Pop Shop, and it looks nice. I like it. It looks very nice. It's very clean. It's also responsive in the design. That's cool. And you can add more and more and more. And if I maximize it, how much do I get? Okay, 5 is the max. Okay. So I have tested it. I installed Brave with this, and it worked fine. I also really like the layout of it. It looks nice. The Lutris, for example, we can choose system or flat hub, but you can go in and see like what version you have for the flat pack, and then what version you have for the regular. One thing that I would suggest to change here is to add an indicator of the verified, unverified, because this is a flat pack that is unverified and there's no notice or label or anything except for the one that's in here in the description. But that was added by the developer of the wrapper, not the store. So if you go to Vivaldi, for example, this is also an unverified app flat pack. And this says it here too, but again, this is in the description. And you'll see that, yes, the package is maintained is in the description of the app. So if I were to find one, let's find one that doesn't have. So with Spotify, for example, you don't see verified versus unverified because it is unverified in the FlatHub, but it is not listed here because it's not in the description. So I would request that they add that. I do think it's okay to have unverified Flatpaks available by default. Linux Mint has recently changed that, but I think the way they do it is not the best way either. So my suggestion would be to disable unverified by default, but still make it possible to find them in their search results and then be able to activate them if you wanted to later. Spotify install. I will install Spotify though, because I do want it. All right, so I think I've played around enough, and I'm just going to show you some stuff that I like and things that I don't like. So first of all, I am a big fan of the way that this window navigation is working. I already showed you like the being able to resize and move things around. But the cool thing about it is that if you're in the tiling mode, it works through the tiling with the same shortcut. So the super arrow key you can just do it inside of the shortcut system or the tiling system, which is great. And you can also make some adjustments with the shortcut keys. And if you don't like the layout that you just landed on and that sort of stuff. So that's very cool. And I also like the fact that you can just go up here, turn off it, and you have all the you have all the windows that are still available, and you can still do the same shortcut moving of the super thing and then resize and all that. This is really nice. And also having like this kind of faux tiling, like you can kind of do this faux tiling thing, like that's cool. So if you want manual tiling, you can do it that way. And I like this. I like this a lot. I'm not sure if I would want this to be always tiling, but there's definitely some productivity value in this for sure. And I'm very tempted to just play with the alpha more and run it in production. I shouldn't. I know that, but I'm kind of tempted to do it anyway. So I guess we'll see what happens. I haven't decided, but I'm very tempted. So overall, I'm a big fan of the tiling system. The workspace function is very nice. I don't necessarily like the layout of this. I would prefer it to be kind of scattered around the screen instead of just being on this line. But other than that, it's fine. That's fine. And I also like the fact that you have this launcher system. So let's just do a quick 10 times. Let's say 10 times 5. Does it work? Yeah. So you have similar KRunner features. So that's very cool. And you also have a lot of customization for the windows and for the panel and dock. And I really like the setup I have now where you have like this completely transparent thing. Now, the only question is if I full screen this, it does it right. Okay. So it activates the opacity. Okay. So that's good. Perfect. Oh, what if I do this? Okay. It doesn't do it there, but that's fine. That's fine. Does it do it when I tile it and I tile everything? I don't want it to do it when I tile it. Oh, there we go. Nice. I like it. So overall, I think there's a lot of positives to say about Cosmic. I think there's tons of potential. There's tons of power user features that I like. There's not. I wouldn't say it's the most beginner friendly. I think that it's more on the power user level. But that's fine. You don't have to be beginner friendly. You can be power user because the default is totally fine. But there are some quirkiness things that I feel like something should be changed. I'm not. So here's the thing that I would say. Like you go to this workspaces thing, and that's fine. Your workspaces are right here. Got it. But you click applications, and then for some reason the application window is all the way over here. So you got to click this and then come all over here. Or if you click this button down here, it's all the way up here. That just feels awkward, This should be wherever, like as close as possible to the thing. So like if you click it in the dock, it should show up here next to the dock. If you click it over here in the applications, it should show over here in the next to the applications. That's just how I feel about that sort of thing. Because it just kind of feels awkward if you click it here and then all the way it's up there. Or like this one, when you click the search, it's even smaller, so it's up there. And if you have no applications running, it's just an empty like search box up here. So that's kind of like a lot of mouse travel. And whereas this, you're interacting with a full screen thing, so it doesn't really matter. Like that's fine. But these two things, I think they need to be adjusted so that when you click it, it shows up very close to where you are. All right, there you have it. That's my first impression for the Cosmic Desktop. I think it has a lot of potential. I love the ability of customizations to like such the degree that it is. I love the flexibility of being able to do tiling and floating at the same time and stacking at the same time. There's so much cool power user potential here. And yes, it's an alpha, so there's some bugs here and there, but you can see that with a little bit more time, they're going to have a very nice desktop offering. And I am super excited about that. Thanks for watching this video. I know it was a little bit aimless because I wasn't really sure how to do this kind of video. I've never done it before. So let me know what you think in the comments if this is something you'd want me to do in the future, to just sort of aimlessly wander around a desktop and play around with stuff and see if there's anything noteworthy of talking about. The editing is going to be problematic for sure. So let me know in the comments what you think about this style and if I should do it again or if I should find something else and some other way to do things like this. Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it very much. My name is Michael Tunnell, for those who don't know. I hope you're doing swell. Be sure to ring that notification bell. And until next time, I bid you farewell.